Hey guys, it is Mrs. McDaniel. I am not here today, but wanted to move on with you, even though I'm not here. So left this video for the sub to show um, about parallel lines and transversals. We watched a video yesterday, kind of introducing that. So I just kind of wanted to jump in and have you guys take some notes. And then have a short little assignment at the end. So it says, a line that intersects two or more lines in a plane at different points is called a transversal. They kind of talked about that on the video of New York the other day and how they had some parallel streets that were cut by Broadway. In the diagram, line T is the transversal. Oh, let's see if I can get this pin working. There it is. T is the transversal of the lines Q and R. Notice the line T forms a total of 8 angles with lines Q and R. These angles and specific pairings of these angles are given special names. So the interior angles lie on the inside of those two lines between them. So that would be angle 4, angle 3. Those are angle signs I put in out in front. Angle 5 and angle 6. Exterior angles lie in the two regions that are not between lines Q and R. So that would be angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8. So those are these outside angles here. Right there, those are exterior. I'm going to go ahead and erase those circles, but wanted to kind of show you where they're at. Okay, so consecutive interior angles, this is actually are on the same side. They are not equal to each other, but they are on the same side. So consecutive interior angles are angle 4 and angle 5. So they're on the interior and then they're right next to each other. And then that would leave angle 3 and angle 6 as the other consecutive interior. Alternate interior angles are non-adjacent interior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. So alternate means opposite sides of the transversal, and then interior would be on the inside. So that would be 3 and 5. And then 6 and 4. I put the picture back down here again so we could see it. Alternate exterior angles, again, the exterior angles are on the outside, so they're 1, 2, 7, and 8. And to be alternate, they are on alternate sides, so that'd be angle 2 and angle 8. And then also angle 1 and 7. Corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal and on the same side of lines Q and R. When I think of something corresponding, I think of them kind of in the same spot. They're not near each other, but same spot. So corresponding is like angle 1 and angle 5. They're on the same side of the transversal and then like on the same side of the line. So like 5 and 1 are at the top of the line and on the left side of the transversal. So angle 1 and angle 5. Another pair that would work would be like angle 2 and 6. They're both on the right side and on the top part of the line. Angle 4 and 8. And angle 3 and 7. Okay, so for example 2 down here, I'm going to have you guys classify the relationship between each pair as alternate interior. So your choices, there we go, let's go back up. Your choices are alternate interior, there's one option, alternate exterior, another option, corresponding, or consecutive interior. So we're just going to write out what we think these are. So we got 3 and 5. So I'm going to highlight those, kind of just mark them. They're on opposite sides. So opposite sides of the transversal. So that's going to make them alternate. And they're interior, they're not exterior. So these are going to be alternate interior angles. Two and six. So let's go ahead and erase these. Highlight 6 and 2. Now they're on the same side, so they're either going to be consecutive interior or corresponding, but they're not both in the interior. So these are actually both, these are corresponding because they're both on the bottom of their line and they are both on the right hand side. So they're corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 8. So let's go ahead and erase these. Go back and check out 3 and 8. Okay, well, they're on the same side as well, but they're both on the interior. So I'm going to go consecutive interior angles. And then let's check out the last pair, 4 and 6. Those would be alternate exterior. They're on the exterior. They're on opposite sides of each other. Oops, I don't know why that didn't want to work. Okay, so make sure you guys got those written down. And we're going to kind of come down here and look at the next example. There's going to be a try it yourself at the end. But I am going to run through these. These are actually kind of tricky because this is two sets of parallel lines. So you've got M and N that are parallel and P and Q that are parallel. So there's a number of things that are parallel here. We're going to classify the relationship between the angles, but it says first to identify the transversal. So when I'm reading the directions, it does say identify the transversal connecting the pair of angles and then classify them. So we still have the same four choices, but we do have to identify the transversal, which one's like cutting the two parallel lines. So because the parallel lines could be the P and the Q, and then cut by the M, or they could be the M and the N cut by like the P or the Q. So it's a little confusing. So I'm going to run through these with you guys. Angle 2 is here and angle 16 is here. And when I look at those, the parallel lines are these right here, P and Q. And they're cut by this transversal M. And I will erase that when we go to the next one. So I'm going to write down M as my transversal. And then those are on the interior. You might have to like turn your paper sideways, but they are on the interior of P and Q. And they are alternate. So they are alternate interior angles. So that was 2 and 16. I'm going to go ahead and erase my pink lines here and my 16. Happens that 2 is going to stay the same, but 2 is going to be paired up with 6 this time. And when I look at 2 and 6, the two parallel lines I see, or the two lines that I see cut by a transversal, are M and N, and they're being cut by P. So this time our transversal is P. And those two angles are on the same side. So they're either consecutive interior, but they're not both interior. So they've got to be corresponding angles, which means they're kind of in the same spot. They're both above the line and they're both to the right of the line. Okay, so let's take a look at 9 and 13. So again, it does help to mark them, and I know you guys only have one picture, so you may be like marking in pencil and then erasing. Again, when I look at this one, the transversal I see is this transversal here, and it's cutting line M and N. So our transversal here is Q. And it looks like 13 and 9 are in the same spot. They're both above the line and to the left of the transversal. So they're the upper left-hand corner, which makes these also corresponding angles. Okay, I'm going to erase. All right, we're looking at 11 and 13. So here's 11, here's 13. Looks like the same transversal again. Looks like it's Q. This is going to be our transversal that cuts those two lines M and N. And these look like they're on the exterior of M and N. So they're on the outside and they're alternate. So we're going to put Q and we're going to put alternate exterior. Okay, 5 and 11. So again, I'm going to mark 5 and here's 11. Kind of hard. I sort of have to turn my paper on this one, but it does appear that this is the transversal that is cutting these two lines. So it's cutting P and Q. N appears to be the transversal. And these also appear as alternate exterior angles because they are on the exterior of P and Q. Okay, we only got 2 more left. So let's look at 9 and 16. Q looks like the transversal here. These look like the two lines. And it looks like they're on the interior and they're right next to each other on the same side. So it wouldn't be alternate interior. It would be consecutive interior. So I'm going to put Q again. And I'm going to put consecutive interior angles. And then it looks like we have 4 and 6. Oh, we got 2 left. My bad. And 3 and 16. So 4 is here and 6 is here. They look like they're being cut by this transversal here, which is P. And it looks like it's cutting M and N. So it's going to be P as our transversal. And those are going to be alternate interior. And then finally, 3 and 16. So those are right next to each other. So the transversal does appear to be this one. M. It's cutting P and Q. So I'm going to put M as my transversal. Sorry, there's no room there. And it looks like those are the consecutive interior. They're on the interior on the same side. Okay, so make sure you guys got all those down. And this one was tough because of the double lines, so it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to erase those. And I'm going to roll down here and have you guys stop the video for about 5 minutes, maybe, 4 to 5 minutes. And I want you to try these with your table group and then come back and then you can fill in the answers. And I will go over the final answers. Okay, stop the video now. All right, I am back to go over the answers of these. So we got 5 and 7. And again, this is only one set of parallel lines and one transversal, so we don't have to worry about naming the transversal. It is that line that appears vertically. So 5 and 7 are in the same spot. They're both on the bottom right. So those would be corresponding angles. So hopefully you got that correct. 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Those appear to be alternate interior angles. They're on the inside. Four and 8. Those look like they're on the exterior and they are alternate. So I'm going alternate exterior angles. And then finally, 6 and 7. Oh, 6, 7. That's didn't plan that, but there you go. 6 and 7 are consecutive interior. They're on the inside of that transversal. So they are, didn't change, sorry. Erase that, go back to the black. There we go. Consecutive interior angles. Okay. All right, that wraps that up. Make sure you filled in your notes, and I will see you guys on Monday.